Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about The Old Guard 2. This is a 2025 action directed by Victoria Mahoney. She's an actress and director. She's less involved with acting and more in directing, and she's done a few movies but nothing crazy. She did not direct the first Old Guard, I'd like to point that out. Gina Prince Bythewood was the first director. I did a review on Old Guard 1. That review will be in the description whenever you want to see it. Old Guard 2, just like 1, is based on the 2017 comic book by Greg Rucka and Leonardo Fernandez. And most of the same cast is there with some new characters, obviously, because it's a new movie. Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I hope that's how you pronounce his name, Luca Marinelli, and Marwan Kenzari. New to the movie is Uma Thurman, Henry Golding, and Veronica Ngor. Charlize Theron you can see in Mad Max, Hancock, Atomic Blonde, A Million Ways to Die in the West, Snow White and the Huntsman, and again, somehow Fast X. It looks like everyone is in Fast X. Matthias Schoenaerts you can find in the Django series, which I didn't know was a thing. I thought Django was just a movie. Chiwetel is in 12 Years a Slave, 2012, The Martian, the new Venom movie, and the new live-action Lion King. Marwan is in the live-action Aladdin. Uma Thurman is legendary. You can find her in Kill Bill, which I've done a review on in the description. Pulp Fiction, Batman and Robin as well. Henry Golding you can find in Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, because this is a sequel, I quickly want to go over the characters because these are in number 1, and if you haven't watched it, here they are. Andy, Niall, Booker, Nikki and Joey, which I will refer to as the couple. That's the whole thing, they are a couple. James was there once. Forget about him. He's completely out of the picture, but James. We also see Quinn at the end of 1, but returns fully in number 2. So there we go. We also get introduced to 2 new characters, Discord and Tua. I swear on my life and everything holy, I'm not making these names up. Discord, like Discord. And Tua, like Hawk Tua. The meme, yeah, that's the kind of movie you're watching. Okay, let's jump into it. So the movie begins as Quinn gets pulled out of the ocean by Discord. This cleans up the ending of the first movie. That's how she got out of the ocean. But that's the last time anything is clean. It's about to get a whole lot messier. Andy has upgraded her haircut from super lesbian to mega mullet. I can't decide which one is worse. Probably the mullet though, if I were a betting man. They raid another compound and kill some people. Perfect time to catch the audience up on some of the plots, like the fact that they're immortal, because maybe if you haven't watched the first one, you don't know that they're immortal. They failed the first time they introduced it though. One guy has his finger off, but he puts it back on. It doesn't show the thumb healing. That's the perfect time to zoom in and show it healing. Whatever. They missed that. They do explain the twist. This is a team of immortal people. They can't be killed. They have extremely fast regeneration. Think of Wolverine, Deadpool, that kind of stuff. So Quinn is back in town after being trapped at the bottom of the ocean, drowning over and over again for 500 years. Horrible, by the way. She wants to find Andy and captures Booker in hopes of getting answers. Booker was exiled for betraying the team in the first movie, so he can't help her. Back to the crew, one of them goes off by himself. I think it's one of the couple. The rest of the gang tell him, and they see that he wants to give Booker some groceries in secret. I guess he feels sorry for him. Niall is on the phone with someone saying, "Oh shit, someone raided his place." Side rant, who is that? I thought the Immortals all worked alone. I'm sure if it was James or something, but I'm pretty sure she just has a contact. Anyway, more on that later. Andy visits another Immortal. This seems like a massive plot hole. In the first movie, the gang explain that everyone has dreams of the new Immortal until they find each other, then the dreams stop. What about this guy? Nobody knew about him. How did no one dream about him? Or if they met, they just forgot about him? Now Andy is going to talk to Quinn. Andy walks through an alleyway, and the background changes while she remembers the different eras that she lived through. This was all taken in one shot, which was actually quite impressive. So everything is just practical effects, and they adjusted the lighting to see, now we're in this era. That's actually pretty cool. Props. So Andy confronts Quinn. Quinn is understandably a little disappointed that Andy didn't rescue her. Long story. They then fight, which looks really awkward. I don't know if it's like a makeup fight or I'm pissed with you fight, but they like stop and look at each other for a second, then continue. It's one of those. It's just a weird scene, and I can't put my finger on what makes it uncomfortable. Niall confronts Discord. Discord says that together they'll end this immortality thing. Discord claims that she's the first immortal, and Niall will be the last. She then proves this by showing that they both have the same birthmark on their arm. I have a few problems with this. The birthmark thing, number one, is very cliche, and number two, doesn't prove anything, just that they're both immortals. And the other thing is that everyone thinks that Andy was the first immortal. Maybe they're wrong, and they never met Discord, fair enough. Just things like this that they add to number two contradicts number one. Just very weird. It turns out that Tua and Discord are both older than Andy, and were even right there when Quinn got trapped at the bottom of the ocean in that flashback thing. Again, convenient that this is suddenly revealed in number two that they were right there. Okay. Tua tells Booker and the audience a few things about some ancient scrolls. The scrolls say, number one, the legend says that Niall can kill immortals. The injuries that she inflicts on an immortal don't heal, and therefore make them mortal. Number two, when an immortal is injured, the power of immortality can be transferred to another person. Before we get into that, I have a few problems with this. The couple say that they've killed each other plenty of times, so it can't just be the newest immortal that can kill other immortals. How do they know that the last immortal is Niall? They don't ever get into specific details on what makes Niall the person. If it's the birthmark, how did Discord know that Niall had the birthmark? Is it the visions? Why does she only have visions? None of this is explained. Booker, knowing this information, gets into a little training fight with Niall. They use real weapons because, of course, they're immortal. They can afford to get injured. Booker gets cut and proves that Niall does, in fact, have the powers and wants to give it to Andy because Andy is now mortal. Maybe he feels sorry for her. Maybe he's in love with her. No explanation. Tua says that this power transfer needs to be voluntary. It's not explained at all how this power transfer works. Do you ask the guy? Do they say yes? So we just have to assume. Booker tries to talk to Andy about it, but pushes out, of course. Anyway, they do the final raid at the bomb site. Long story. Before they go in, the couple have a little moment alone. They don't kiss like they should have, but they do this head-leaning thing, which is fine, but it's obvious here that the higher-ups wanted zero gay in this movie. More on that at the end. So back to the bomb site. It's a nuclear plant, and it's rigged to blow up and kill like 10 million people or something. The gang know it's a trap set up by Discord to get them all there, but they do the right thing and they head in. Since they're next to a giant bomb, they won't be stupid and use guns, potentially blowing themselves up. I understand if a bomb goes off, they'll be healing and vulnerable, which is the risky aspect. But this is the last time a bomb is ever even mentioned, so it was really an excuse to have another melee fight with a bunch of swords and stuff. You could argue, yeah, they chased the villains away and they didn't blow up the bomb. It wasn't even set to a timer, but just, they don't explain anything, okay? Tua and the couple get trapped and frozen by liquid nitrogen. And on the bottle, they like specifically zoom on it, and it says liquid nitrogen, and it says LN2. Now, I might be petty here, but the label is completely incorrect. LN is not liquid nitrogen, it's actually lithium nitride. N is the elemental symbol for nitrogen, so going by that logic, L must be lithium. I did a bit of digging, and LN never stands for liquid nitrogen. They usually write it out fully like this. I can't ignore this. When the rest of the movie is the way it is, I'm sorry, but there's way too much going on that is bad, okay? Anyway, during a fight, Booker tells Andy that he gave her his powers. Hold up. As far as I saw, they didn't even talk about it, so how did he do that? Anyway, he immediately dies, which everyone saw coming back when the idea of passing on the power was explained in the first place. He's obviously going to give her his powers, and then he dies. Awesome. Quinn fights Niall, and Quinn gets injured. She doesn't heal, so Niall is confused, and maybe putting together the pieces in her head. We don't know exactly. Also, no one has told Niall this, by the way, that she has this power. Discord then captures Niall, and Andy comes to make sure that Quinn is okay. The final showdown contains one of my least favorite scenes of all time, the helicopter scene. Discord is flying away on a helicopter, but Andy runs, and manages to jump on the helicopter. Just kidding, she gets hit off. Shit. Discord then, hovers over there menacingly to show off, yeah, you just lost, stupid. Then the helicopter lines itself up and tries to fly into Andy on the ground, sort of kamikaze style, and it's flying towards it with the blades pointed at Andy, Andy slides under it. They look behind them, super cliche. Oh, where is she? Where's her body? She's on the chop already, you idiot. Andy tackles Discord. They fall out, and now they're on the ground, and the helicopter's just there. That whole thing was horrible. The whole helicopter thing. Andy could have jumped on it in the first place and got Discord, and that could have been it. You didn't have to add that whole thing. It was so stupid. It was so dumb. So it turns out Discord is also mortal, which I guess looking at it now, you can just lose it randomly, but she wasn't attacked by Nile. So there are multiple ways to lose the power. It's so confusing. So Andy is immortal. Discord is mortal. Surely Andy is going to kick her ass. Of course she fucking loses, you idiot. Why would you think it would make sense? Discord smokes her and flies away victoriously like a boss. Andy, you loser. Anyway, Andy tends to Quill's injuries after the fight. Did I say Quill or Quinn? Is it Quinn? Why did I write down Quill? It is I wrote down Quill. What the fuck? Okay. Anyway, Andy tends to Quinn's injuries after the fight. It's not verbally expressed, of course. Why would they explain anything? But they're now teaming up. All is apparently forgiven. They gear up. There are some lip-syncing errors, by the way, and some bad sound effects. And they run off excitedly to go rescue the gang. That's the end. It just ends right there, very abruptly. Obviously, giant cliffhanger so that they can set up the Old Guard 3, which who knows how long that's going to take to come out, because this just came out. I think number 1 was, 2020? Old Guard 2 is 2025, so we have to wait until 2030 to see Old Guard 3. And judging by how bad Old Guard 2 is, number 3 is going to be even fucking worse. Right, I did shit on this movie for a lot of it, but I'm going to keep going because there is a lot that I couldn't just get into because it's going to disrupt the flow of the movie. So let's see. We can see that the team behind this movie is very confident about its success, leaving a cliffhanger like that. The previous movie also kind of had a cliffhanger with Quinn's reveal at the end, but this one ended with so many more loose ends, so I'm hoping Netflix doesn't cancel this like they usually do with so many of their other projects. But at the same time, I would be happy because I don't have to watch number 3. So this movie has some plot holes, way more than the first. They added so much that just contradicts what the first movie set up. The 2 new Immortals that Andy didn't mention, Niall's phone call, who did she call? Booker giving Andy his powers without anyone knowing, including the audience. How did they even give it to them? Small things, yeah, in the big picture it's not such a big deal, but I can't just ignore these. I watched the first movie with clear rules set up, and suddenly number 2 adds a dozen more things that is very different and mostly just creates plot holes and doesn't make any sense. Not a huge fan. Another small thing I didn't mention yet is Niall and Discord's conversation in the church. I briefly mentioned that Discord mentions that Niall is the last immortal that will be born. Emphasis on born. So either Niall was never injured before and never noticed her wounds healing quickly, or immortals are just born like this and the ability unlocks when they die, usually in battle. This makes this immortality thing even more confusing, and it doesn't help that the rest of the movie is a bit messy that I just don't understand anything. In number 1, I understood. You can't die? Cool. Now you just have this ability. Congrats. I don't like the writing in general. Things feel awkward all the time. For example, in the beginning when the finger was chopped off, the audience doesn't know that they can grow it back yet. They didn't explain this, so it just looks stupid. Oh, he put the finger back on. What the heck? And then they cut to the next thing. It doesn't show it being healed like the typical zoom in the next shot when an injury gets healed. It zooms in and it shows it closing up. They should have done that with the thumb. Or showed the thumb second because it's funnier. Oh, they can heal. Haha, he put the thumb back on. Right? There are more examples like this, but the thumb thing being so early sets the pace so badly for the rest of the movie. You can tell how bad the rest of the movie is going to be. The choreography is the same as the first movie. Average. This is what you see with most action movies. Thousands of cuts and the heroes kill everyone without a scratch. You know, I really think they could have leaned more into the healing thing and let them get hit more. Let them get injured and even die, because they can't die, right? Blow them up a few times. Let them jump from tall buildings like in the ending of the first movie. But they just ignore this really unique twist that no other movies have. The whole idea of the movie is that they're immortal, and it feels just like a generic action movie. Why didn't you lean into the plot twist more? Like the twist, oh, they're immortal. kill them, you know? Dealing with injuries often. The gore is just as gruesome as the first movie. They deal obviously with injuries a lot. They die a lot. Unfortunately, this time the CGI is just a whole lot worse. Somehow CGI gets worse and worse every year. I don't understand why. Every movie I watch, it's like, oh, I can see the CGI so obviously. It looks so much worse. To my surprise, there's a lot less gay scenes in this movie. Gay scenes as in openly gay, so not even hints or implications. In the first movie, the couple cuddled, they flirted often, and they explained how much they loved each other, and they kissed passionately in front of many people. That's why number one was so praised, is because, wow, you actually have openly gay people and you have a female cast. This movie is so forward, you know? In this movie, nothing. Not a thing. You couldn't even tell that anyone in this movie is gay. I don't know why they made this decision, but I blame big business, a big corporation, for removing some of the character that the first movie had. The music is unfortunately just as bad as the first movie, taking some pop songs with some annoying lyrics that relate to the scene, like, I just killed a bunch of people, Eye of the Tiger, or whatever, you know? Not a fan. Write original scores. Again, it's not that hard. So with all that being said, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I gave this movie a bit of a lower rating because they didn't follow the first movie nicely. They wrote new things that just created plot holes. A lot of scenes feel awkward. There are some cool aspects, like the single take through the market, but that just couldn't carry this movie. It's obvious that they want sequel after sequel, so let's see if they can redeem themselves in the next one. Side rant, I think I was spot on with my 3,000-year-old estimation in the first movie. I was doing a bunch of research, and I actually felt so proud of myself for doing research about, oh, there's bows and arrows in the scene. Let's actually do research. What year do bows and arrows happen? And like in this era and in this era. And when do the Crusades happen in this era? It's like, oh, these guys are a couple hundred years old. Andy is a couple thousand years old. That's pretty interesting. Like, I just wish that they executed this movie a bit better so the universe, like, can be fleshed out a bit more. Or not even fleshed out there. It's just a good watch. Number one was fine. And then number two, I don't know, man. Someone messed up. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.